Hi, my name is Hakeem Hopkins Scott.
The question that you got is, have you ever been sexually harassed, assaulted, or felt pressure to partake in sexual activity against you? Here are the responses.
When I was 12, I was near the ice cream shop. I heard a raspy old guy voice whistling at me and chatting to me in Italian. The guy could not have been younger than 70. Terrible and awful to think about it now. But I knew what was happening then too, but I decided to just glance at him and leave even as he continued to catcall me. When I was in an Uber, he sexually assaulted me on the car journey home. He touched me even when I pushed him away, grabbing on my thighs, caressing them, and trying to get underneath. He took my hands from my lap and put them in his mouth, sucked on them. I was crying, begging for him to stop. I remember staring out of that window for 2 straight minutes while he started touching me. Then it hit me, and the tears were just running down my face while my whole body sat frozen still. After a few minutes in shock, I clicked and started pushing him away, trying to protect myself and get out of the car. His face haunts me every day. I have a terrible memory, so it's quite easy for me to forget people, but he'll be in my memory for the rest of my life.
My name is Jad Atari.
So the question is, was there a time when you felt pressure to change your body and or appearance to fit into society's ideal standards? Here are the responses.
Towards the end of middle school and beginning of high school, I struggled a lot with disorderly eating as a result of comments I got about my weight from family members. However, what damaged me most was the amount of compliments and praising I received when I began losing weight drastically. It felt like the more weight, the more value and importance I gained in society's eyes, and it became like a drug. Everyone would compliment me and tell me that I look so much better when I'm skinny, which motivated me to starve myself even more. Weight and calories were all I thought about, and food was just a bunch of numbers in my eyes. Although I'm doing better now, I don't think anyone who has a past with eating disorders ever truly recovers. You always have that voice in the back of your head. I think one thing that everyone should know is that even though society makes you feel like you'll be happy with your body and love it once you lose weight, the reality is that how much you love your body has almost nothing to do with how it looks. You're never going to be happy no matter how much weight you lose unless you love yourself. It's all about your mindset.
A man followed me home after a late night at the gym. I ended up needing to quicken my steps as he shouted compliments at me, resulting in me having to hide behind a dumpster until he left, because I've never walked home alone ever since that day. Yes, I have. When I was 6, these boys, who were my friends, cornered me into this toy house I had in my backyard and did stuff I tried to forget, but it's changed me so much and how I view other situations.
When I was in 4th grade, I had a lot of fat for my age, and that led to people making comments about my appearance. It actually led me to only eat apples for a month straight. Every day and all the time, I've never felt like I was good enough or that my body was good enough to fit society's standards. I developed an eating disorder because of it in 8th grade, and I still suffer from it. When I was with a family member and they told me that they're glad I was overweight because it made me ugly and kept me safe from the boys.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Hassan.
Okay, so the question is, if only women existed on Earth for 24 hours, what would you do in that time? Here are the responses.
I would go on a walk or a jog at night, go to a party without second guessing my clothes in fear of being groped or assaulted. I would go out without the fear of getting drugged if I put my drink down. I would walk alone at night. I wouldn't share my location with my mom every time I'm in a taxi. I wouldn't fake a FaceTime call just to feel safe. I wouldn't hug myself to protect from male's gaze. My heart wouldn't start racing every time I felt someone's footsteps behind me. I wouldn't clutch my keys every time I'm walking home alone. I wouldn't be in survival mode every time I wanted to find a ride home. I'd feel free. I'd travel by myself. I'd go on adventures alone. I'd do everything I've been wanting to do my whole life. But being told that the world is too unsafe for a girl to do that by herself.
I have, but I don't wish to share my story, and the boy is still not in jail because no one believes me. From the age of 13 to 16, I was molested almost every week by my uncle. This year, in my final year of high school, it finally stopped. Not because he decided to become a better person, but because I stopped going to any family gatherings. I cannot say what time of the night the event occurred, but I do know one thing. I felt my heart explode. I heard it crack into an explosion inside every inch of my body. At the age of 13, I was raped by two men in my dark bedroom, and they threatened to kill me if I told anyone. Honestly, I wanted to vomit. Till this day, my guts turn in knots, and I feel disgusted every time I think about how someone could be so heartless. I was silent for 2 years until I moved to another country, and then I got the courage to tell my parents. I went into therapy suffering from severe depression, PTSD, and anxiety. It's been 2.5 years since I started therapy, and my depression and anxiety has been bearable recently, but my PTSD hasn't changed.
My sister is so skinny, so I was forced to be like her. My aunts would always comment on how much weight I've gained, so I forced food out of my system and went down from a 27-inch waist to a 24-inch waist in a week in hopes of fitting in. Still, I feel like I'm not good enough, and I wish I could tell my friends about it, but I just can't. No one would listen to me or believe me. My friends are always like, I wish I had your body, but they don't understand how much pain I've been through. I'm currently struggling with anorexia and still don't feel skinny enough. And I still don't feel skinny enough to fit society's standards of beautiful. So this is the last one. I felt the need to do so when I was in 10th grade. I was friends with this group of guys, and one day they forgot I had access to one of the group chats. When opening it, I found tons of comments on my... Oh my gosh. When opening it, I found tons of comments on my body. They were saying If she was skinny, she would have been hot. Imagine she wasn't fat, and more.
I just want to ask you, how do you feel about what you're at, and what do you think we need to start doing differently?
That's just very hard to read. I think about like my mom and my sister, and it just shakes me to my core to think that they may have experienced something like that in their lifetimes. I don't know. I think just everybody needs to do a better job of being respectful and listening to each other. Because at the end of the day, we're all human beings put on this earth. And it's heartbreaking that one person could feel like they have the right to do that to another. So yeah, I don't know, I'm pretty speechless right now, but
For the girls who answered this, we can work together and we can push each other, guys and girls alike. We can push each other to become better in this world, and it's only when we come together that shit will change. I mean, there's millions of world crises at the moment, and this is one of them.
and there's definitely a lot we can learn from those people's stories. We do live in a misogynistic society, and ideally, ignorance is bliss, and we can act like, you know, we don't know that these problems are going on, and we can try to, I don't know, I wouldn't say belittle, but act like they're not there. And I could say personally for me, oftentimes like when I hear these stories, like my initial thought is, oh, okay, yeah, that's probably, you know, that was one experience. That doesn't mean, you know, it's happening frequently. But in reality, that's not the case. So I think a lot of the times, as a whole, we just need to be more respectful, and we need to listen to each other. Because I think like these stories, for people to feel strong enough and have enough courage to come out with these stories and you know, feel comfortable enough to share their stories, it means a lot, and it just saddens me that, you know, women have to live in this reality that's completely, you know, unbeknown to me, and it's something I'll never truly be able to understand, but it's something that I can at least have a little bit of decency and respect to sit down and listen, and upstand it when I see it happening, because realistically, as I said before, we do live in a misogynistic society, and even microaggressions and small things, they all matter and they all count. So when I see those small things happening around me, whether it may be, you know, a dude getting too physical with a girl, or, you know, not respecting her space, not respecting boundaries, I think it's important as a man to be active and not just sit back and watch, but actually say something, because those stories were, I would never want to, you know, read those again. So change is slow, and I think if we all do our part, having a little bit more respect and you know, some of the other things I said, then I think we can all take steps to combating this, because it is real, and it's happening all around us every single day.